All right, guys, let's get this thing rolling. Figured I'd decide to do a Hangout vlog video today of just some updates that's been going on with me since the beginning of the year. So this is going to be a talking video. If you want to see guitar playing, that's not going to happen. If you want to hear about guitar playing, it's not going to be simply just guitar playing. This is going to be an updates video, so I'm just going to be talking on. First of all, I want to check and make sure that this link works. As I said on the last video, which was about building a song with just 2 chords, I think I found a way around the aggravating quirk of YouTube, or Hangouts, excuse me, letting you have this like chipmunk sound. So let me pause just for a minute to see if this is correctly. And if it's playing correctly and my voice is sounding right, then it's going to be all right. Letting you have this like chipmunk sounds. Perfect. Now, the way around that, if you're having problems with Hangouts, to where you start your Hangout and it's automatically whenever you play it, it's start getting this chipmunk sound. You're getting comments about this chipmunk sound. You're going really fast. What you have to do is, before you even start the Hangout, before you go on air, do this before you get on air, because if you do it after you go on air, then it's going to mess all your links up. You have to start a new Hangout from scratch and all this stuff. What you do is you'll open up the Hangout video, and it'll say off air in the top right corner, and you'll click the webcam. Click that button on the top. Click that on and off, and just let that sit there and kind of refresh the feed for your webcam. And I do this as an extra precaution. I go ahead and end the call because I haven't been on air. I haven't started it just yet. And then I go back to my events page on my YouTube dashboard where it says live streaming or whatever. It'll say live streaming, and then it'll say events below that. I go right back to that page and click on Start New Hangout. And then everything should be good to go. I click on that button for the webcam a couple times, and then everything just seems to work. So that's the way I've worked around that. But anyway, as I said on the last video about building a song from 2 chords, I just wanted to do a live update video for this week. And first of all, I'm going to talk about, there's all kinds of things we'll talk about updates as far as what's been going on from the beginning of the year until now. Now, obviously, if you watch my YouTube channel, you've been seeing the videos I've been posting about every week. Goes about, let me go ahead and go to my video manager, my dashboard. What will it pick? Pick reviews, some videos that I've uploaded, just like the last one, which was just me playing around with guitar. That experimentation that I wanted to do. I've done a video on Another Way at the No Time Music Hour. A video called Global Domination Through Digital Publishing with the Fox Sleep Authors Group workshop that we did. Very good video there. And some just different review videos, things like that. But yeah, I've actually done quite a bit now that I think about it. But I haven't, it seems like I'll do a video and then I'll go back and the problem is that I'll do a video and then it'll sit on the shelf for a while. And then I feel like I haven't really updated you guys, because when the video comes out, there's other things that have happened. So I wanted just to do an update in real time and tell you what's going on. We're going to talk about writing, talk about updates on the YouTube videos that I've got coming out, some tools and software that I found very helpful, some latest things that I've run across, some books that I've really enjoyed reading. Just a little bit of a smorgasbord of all that is, things that I'm interested in, things that I've been working on. And so let's get started. First of all, before I forget, I want to talk about what the YouTube videos I have planned. Okay. Now, I'm going to try to remember all these, but I have some videos from the Peachtree Christmas thing, or no, the end of the year program back in the spring that I need to release, and it's of the Bluegrass Band. And so I'll be releasing those in the coming weeks. I've got a video of my entry in the Smithville Gymboree competition. I didn't win anything, but at least I got to compete and had a good time. And so I'm going to put that on there. And I've got one that I really need to release because I've been wanting to release it. It was one of my previous students in the bluegrass band named Noah Akins. And he's a very talented young man. He actually, I didn't know this, but he won several competitions in the Smithville Fiddlers Gymboree. I think he did clawhammer banjo and maybe dulcimer. He plays a plethora of instruments. And one thing I really enjoy listening to him play is the harmonica. So I went to his house and we sat down and had a jam session for about an hour or so, playing some of the songs that we were familiar with, some old-timey songs, just improvisation stuff. And I really want to get that uploaded. And so that's coming. And I'd like to get that uploaded, probably start going with that as soon as maybe next week because I'm way behind on that. And I think that's as far as I can think that I've got that's backlogged. Let me do some checking real quick and see if I can find any other videos that may need to happen here. Okay, so there's that. I've actually got a video that I've been sitting on for a while because I just didn't want to. I don't want to fool with editing it right now. There's so many other things that happen that going back to do something old is just, unless I totally run out of things, I don't really want to do it. But I really need to put this one on there. I don't know when it'll happen, but I've got the installation of something called the Gold Oil Back Box on my Ibanez, and it's supposed to help with tuning stability. It's kind of like a trim setter, but not exactly. But I've had that on here, been sitting on that for a long time, and haven't really, messed with it. But yeah, it looks like that's all the ones that I have for now. Now, Kenneth Burris was supposed to come down today, and but he's had some health problems with his son's going into surgery, he said. So our prayers are going out to him. I don't know what the situation is, but just remember him in your prayers. And so instead, I was going to have our mandolin player from the Gilbert family, Faith, come down, and maybe that'll happen as well. And when I get that recorded, that'll probably go on the backlog too until these other videos are released. That's what I mean. It feels like I'm not really staying up to date because all these videos are coming out later, even though those aren't date sensitive. It's weird, it just feels like it's outdated, even though there's not a date sensitive thing to it, because even I might say, well, this was recorded in August and it come out in September or October. That doesn't matter because it's just playing songs. It's just jamming. It's an interview, jam session. There's nothing, really time sensitive about it. But I just wanted to share that with you. So that's the YouTube videos that I've got coming out. I also have some other videos. Haven't really planned them, but some things that could happen. And that is I've got a whole slew of my pick collection. And since I did the Will It Pick thing, I'd like to do some more of those and just find out the different tones and different sounds on there. For the different picks. And so as far as that goes, anything that I'm interested in could easily become video. Most of the time it's guitar stuff, but I haven't really run across any good screencasts that I'd want to do a screencast for or anything like that. But anything is potential fodder for the mill. Okay, so that's basically the YouTube updates. Now I want to talk about the main things that's been going on, and that is writing. Okay, so been doing a lot of writing lately, mostly editing. Still working on the goals books, the series that I've got coming out. That's going to be called Smart Focus, and really excited about that because I'll just give you an example here of what I've been working on. Well, not exactly an example of it, but something that I was really excited about is to get a professional editor, a professional seasoned editor who actually writes for Writer's Digest. And so I was really excited to get started on that and to have him actually do that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to screen share and let you see exactly who has been editing, or who did edit my first book in the series. Now it was about 5,700 words or something like that, maybe 6,000. And his rates were really good. I thought like 0.2 cents a word or something like that. And so it was basically, if it was 6,700 words, then it was $67 for him to give me a editorial review. And I thought, well, that would be best because it's not a fiction thing. It's not something that has a plot and has to, the structure and all that. It's nonfiction. It's self-help type things about setting goals and achieving goals. And so he looked over the manuscript. He sent me back a 3-page summary. His editorial review is anywhere from 2 to 6 pages. And he sent me about a 3.5 page summary of things that are working in the book, things that are kind of vague, maybe things that can be improved upon. And really excited to get that back. I was really overjoyed to get that back. And let me show you who this guy is. So I'm going to go ahead and go to screen share with you. And let's find. So here we have. Okay. Here we have jeffgerke.com. All right. Jeff Gerke is the guy that did the editorial review. He actually has down here some editing and writing packages. And if you'll go to jeffgerke.com right up here, it's very easy to navigate to. And the reason I'm excited about this guy, if you don't know who he is, then let me just give you an idea of who he is, okay? So, and if you want to check out any of these products that I'm talking about, if you go to ericbeatty.shop, that will take you directly to my Amazon affiliate link, which will, whenever you purchase anything, it will give me just a small commission. And what that does is it helps me, keeping YouTube for free, and just it supports what I do here on YouTube. So if you want to help, just go to ericbeatty.shop, and that'll take you straight to this page. So if I typed in Jeff Gerke in books, let me show you the one that I actually purchased that was very excited to me. And this one right here, I actually did a review on my blog for this book. And you can find that by going to, let me find here. Here's my blog. So it's this one. So if you'll go to, let's just open this in a new tab. Here's the link, ericbeatty.com/writing-christian-fiction. You'll see a review that I did on this, okay? And so very, very good. And even though it says Christian fiction, don't let that turn you off if you're not a Christian per se, because this is an overall book for any writer that's it's just amazing. His tips in here are just so well thought out, so well explained, so easy to find. And this is the guy, Jeff Gerke, that did my editorial review for my first book. What I'm thinking of doing is, when I get it done, now that I've done I'm working on this book, and I know exactly what to do from here, I can use that as a template on the rest of the books. And I'll probably have him do a review on those as well, just as a guide. But the amazing thing is that he, like I said, he's an author. He writes at Writer's Digest. And what I can do is, now that he's reviewed it, I have added almost double the word count, because he gave me a better direction to make it more user-friendly, to make the book more universal, so that everybody can relate to it, not just people who lose weight or whatever the goal might be. Because if I only use one example, then that turns everybody else off, and that kind of excludes everybody else. So he said, use several examples. Maybe a goal of the ones that I'm going to be using is the goal of weight loss and the goal of writing a novel, because I've been through both of those, and those are things I can talk about fairly confidently. And so I had him edit it, do the editorial review. Well, at the same time, I had my wife do some kind of developmental edits, concept edits. And so she spotted a lot of the same things that Jeff did. And what I'm going to do is, after I get done revising all this, I'm going to take it back. He actually has some apprentices. If I go to the editing and writing packages, he has some apprentices that do what he does, that he is training to do. And you can see this here, the rates. Some apprentices he's training to do all this stuff for like half of what he charges. So I have an editorial review here. It was a penny a word. Well, it's half a penny a word for the apprentice. So I wanted him to take a look at it, and now I've got actually his ideas about my book. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back when I get it done and have one of the apprentices align it for, look at this, 1 penny a word, 1 penny a word. So at the same price as his editorial review, I'm gonna get a complete line edit from his apprentice. Okay, now I don't know how long that'll take. The return time on this was about 3 weeks, which is fine because that'll have me time to let it rest and start working on other things. But that's what I've been working on there. Like I said, the art of the writing Christian fiction, the art and craft of writing Christian fiction. Complete blog post on this that I've made, and this is one of the sources that I talk about. If you go to wherethemapends.com, this is his actual website. Now, what turned me on to this was when I read the introduction. Usually when I pick up a book, I find it. I actually found this book in Books A Million when we were on vacation about a year ago. And I opened up the introduction, and it actually showed where most of this advice came from. It was actually from a set of posts on writing tips that he did on the wherethemapends.com website. And if this is the home, if you go actually for tools for writers here and go down to fiction writing tips, now there's editorial services, all this other stuff. For editorial services, I would probably go to the jeffgerke.com, the main page, because that's, I think he actually keeps up with that more than he does this page. So tools for writers, and then fiction writing tips. And there are nearly 100 tips, several hundred word descriptions a piece. You just click on the tips and it takes you to 1 through 10. Click on this, it'll take you 11 through 20. And so all of these, nearly 100 tips, all of these are kind of compiled into this book. Okay. Now, for the longest, I actually just read the tips, and I just wanted to read these, and they were amazing. And I just, when you write something good, that's your best marketing, is writing a good book, and people want to buy it. And so when I saw this, I didn't want to have to just access this all the time. I wanted it in book form so I could carry it with me wherever I went in an easy, accessible form. So I bought the book based on the amazing tips he gives here. Okay, so if I clicked on tips 1 through 10, it takes me through 1 through 10. Tip 1, tip 2, tip 3, all this other stuff. So that's who I had give me an editorial review of the book that I'm working on. So that's Jeff Gerke, wherethemapends.com. I highly recommend this. Check out wherethemapends.com, tools for writers, fiction writing tips. Okay. And also give Jeff Gerke a try. He has many different books, as we can see here, on getting published, on writing. He has been an editor and he's self-published. He has had his own publishing company. He's been in the field of writing and publishing for years. He's got several good books here that you can check out. His newest one is The Irresistible Novel, How to Craft an Extraordinary Story That Engages Readers from Start to Finish. And once again, if you go to ericbailey.com/shop and do a search for Jeff Gerke, you'll find all these here. Okay, so that's it for the first part of the update here. And so the next part, as far as writing goes, here's something new that I've been working on, and that is, NaNoWrimo happens. The main one happens just like once a year. Okay, so the main NaNoWrimo thing happens once a year. Well, I wanted to find another challenge that would keep me accountable to myself and not feel so overwhelming. So I ran across this one, and it's called A Round of Words in 80 Days. Okay, and so it's really interesting. I don't want to explain all that here, but you can go I'm Lost FAQ, or what is ROW 80, Round of Words in 80 Days, where that came from and all this. Basically, that's 80 days, and there's 4 blocks of this a year. So there's 4 sets of 80 days where you set your writing goal. It could be to write a novel. It can be to write so many hundred words a day, so many chapters, so many scenes, whatever it may be. It can be all that good stuff. And you're not on this 30-day deadline. It actually gives you some leeway. And anytime, if you feel like the goal isn't working, you can change that goal into something else. Okay, so right now I'm currently on round 3. and I've got 52 at the end of round 3. And basically what you do is you get on here, and to join this, like if I go to what is ROW, here's how you do this. Here's the actual kind of requirements. Basically, you need to have a blog, and you give updates. The updates happen Wednesdays and Sundays, and you just do it as a blog post, okay? And you link to the goals link, they call it a linky for the round, which will be posted on their blog. So if I go back to their blog, every Wednesday and Sunday, they post an update, okay? Okay, so the check-in. You go to this check-in, and if you've written a blog about what you've done and your writing goals, you go here, you click here, and it will give you a list of links that you click here to enter your updates, okay? And so that's one thing that I've been doing. If I go to my main website here, you can see where I've actually, this is the actual update. My first official update, which was July 19th. Now I don't update every Wednesday and every Sunday. I'm trying to. This is one good excuse to keep me writing on my blog, for one thing, because I don't feel like I've been writing on my blog enough. But this is also, like I said, keep me accountable to myself, and I don't want it to be a chore. So I'm going to update whenever I have something significant to say, like I actually wrote every single day this week, or I had a breakthrough on my novel idea, or I wrote another short story, or something that's significant, not just to say, well, I did pretty good this week. I actually wanted to do another update on Sunday, so I'll probably have to do it on Wednesday now that it's Tuesday. But over here's the badge. So you click on this, and it takes you to the actual blog post that I made here. Okay, so that's a round of word in 80 days, and they reference something on this blog that's very cool, and it's a tool called Pacemaker, and it's to help you track your writing. Okay, if you go to pacemaker.press, you can set up this thing called Pacemaker, and it actually tracks your writing. It gives you a goal. I'm actually involved in this round of words in 80 days, round 3 challenge. Okay, so my name is on that challenge, and I go up here and add progress whenever I've written whatever it is for that day, and I click done, and whenever that happens, I save my plan every time, and it updates this. Now, if you go back here, below this, I've got that right here. There's one right here, the nonfiction goal that I have on my editing, and there's one I did on writing anything. And you'll notice, look at the image of that. That staggering line there is identical to this staggering line. Okay, and so this is actually updates it for me. Whenever I update it on the Pacemaker page, it actually updates it right here. Okay, so you can check that out by, it says powered by Pacemaker. The link is pacemaker.press. Okay, you can check that out. So that's a very cool tool for writing, and there's all kinds of settings. Look at this. My activity can be writing, editing, revision. Mostly it's for writers, but it's also for students. So like study, work, reading. I can edit for all this different stuff. I can write for all this stuff. It can be tracking all this stuff for me. How much words? I want to do 250 words. So I can do how many characters, how many chapters, how many stanzas, whatever. And all these other settings. I'm not really going to go over piece by piece what it is, but here's the daily work, and here's the progress of the actual plan, which is the ROW plan, the challenge here. Okay, so I've got 2 of these set up. I have the writing anything and the from edits to publication, which is the stuff I'll be working on for the goals ebook that I have. Okay, so there we have it for that. I'm going to show you something before. Let's go ahead and get out of screen share mode here and see about showing you some other stuff that I've got here. All right, so take a drink of my breakfast here. I'm drinking I'm trying to get into juicing a little bit. That's another day. I just thought I'd try it and see what happens. So I'm drinking the Green Machine juice by Naked, and believe it or not, contrary to the way it looks, it actually tastes pretty good. It's got a banana/pineapple taste to it. Really good. Tastes nothing like it looks. I was really surprised. I was really dreading it because it's got kale and spinach and everything in there. Can't even taste it. All right, so there's a little side update. But anyway, I wanted to talk about, this is something I talked about on the last video about some pens. Now, I am a pen addict, and I actually looked at Term Up and found out that there's a website, penaddict.com. And so that's pretty cool. But I actually ordered some pens that I found. I've been getting back into calligraphy and some fountain pens just for the artistic value of reading my handwriting. And here is one test I did with the various calligraphy pens that I've got out of my art box that have been, you know, hanging up forever and haven't really done anything with them. And this is a set by the company called Manuscript. You can find these at Hobby Lobby. This is the one that has a different color pen nibs. And which is sad, the modern day ones don't come with the scroll tip, which I really like. But let me go ahead and turn that lower third off. It's taking up some screen space. But it doesn't come with that little scroll tip, which I really enjoy. So I was just sitting here playing around, and I found out the one I like the most is this Fine Point, this one right here. It looks really good. It's got some bold strokes. It's not just a plain straight line. It's got varied strokes. And so I've been writing with calligraphy a little bit. But that got me into looking for some fountain pens. And I actually found some right here. This is what they look like. I found some online. There's a cool pen company called Jet Pens. And you can also go to ericbeatty.com/shop and look for them on there. But they're by a company called Platinum, and they're called the Preppy pens. And they come in fine, I think extra fine, and medium. And the fine has the most variety of colors. Okay. Now this pen, it's not really bulky, but it's thicker than, say, Uniball or Pilot G2 or whatever. Believe it or not, Pilot makes some really awesome pens too. I didn't know this. You just don't see them in America because, you know, in Japan they're more about, you know, stationery and all that. That's more a way of their life, I guess. But anyway, these pens I found, they're not very bulky. They have a nice feel to them. They're clear. They're what they call a demonstrator pen, which means you can see the internal workings of it a little bit. Take this off, and you've got this nice point to it. It's very, very nice. Writes as smooth as you could want it to. It comes with an extra long ink cap. Now notice there's a little chamber here, this little cap here. Watch what happens when I put this in. Probably can't see that very well, but there's an inner cap that keeps the pen sealed, and it moves when you click it into place. And this is not a unscrewable pen where, you know, to get the cap off like a lot of them are. But if you look in the chamber, it came with an extra large look. I mean, look at that ink chamber. It's pretty long. Okay, writes very fluidly, and no problems at all for that. Okay, so trying to get this on there where that's one of the aggravating things about it. This is like a little warning label, you know, I'm trying to get it on there to where it'll, I won't see that every time I'm writing. There we go. Now it's back on the top of the Preppy. Okay, so the best thing about this pen, not only the fact that it writes so well, it's built very well, it's very nice and cosmetic, you know, pleasingly aesthetic. It's only $3 a piece. That's all this cost me. And I went ahead and bought 4 of them from jetpens.com. I got they call it blue black. It's more of a kind of a watered down blue. I got that one. I got one of my favorites, the green one, very nice and bold. And then I decided I'd get another one. And if I didn't like it, or even if I did like it, I was gonna give this one to my wife because she loves purple. So this is the violet pen. And here's what they look like when you write with them. Okay, so you can see the blue is kind of washed out. These are water-based inks, if I'm not mistaken. So they're non-waterproof, all right? But they write very well, very smoothly. I'm definitely a pen addict. I have a whole bottle of pens over here on the side. I've got pens and, you know, a drawer full over here, markers. I'm a pen fanatic. And I don't know, I just found those and thought I'd share that with you. The pacemaker was one of the new tools I've been using, and another new tool that I found recently that I may start using pretty soon is called something called a bullet journal. Okay, I've actually been experimenting with that in my Passions Planner. Okay, Passion Planner. I've done a blog post on the Passion Planner. So if you go to everybody.com and do a search for Passion Planner, it'll pull right up. But as you can see, I've been actually using the Passion Planner. I've been using it up to this point very regularly. It's got little sections in there in between that you can give your monthly progress. It's got overall calendar, and then you got your weekly. And I've actually been using this very well. But I found recently that it just seems to be getting discouraging that I'll write something down, even though it doesn't mean I have to complete it. When I go back and see that I haven't completed, or I see all these things that have to be done, kind of gets overwhelming. So I'm doing an experiment now where I'm not really planning so much. I'm still putting my appointments and things down here, but I'm not really planning out my day. What I have been doing instead is doing kind of sort of a mind map of what's inside my head, things that I've been pondering on that I might do. Okay, so like for example, instead of using this over here to list my personal to-dos, by top priority, and some errands to run, and the same thing for work, I'll just put some of the things that have been, that keep at the front of my mind, some of the things that I keep thinking about, and that don't get lost in the slush pile of everything else I'm thinking about. They stay pretty much on the surface. So I'll write a little mind map of that down, and then I'll look at this throughout the week and kind of get an idea of what I want to do. And then the rest of this, I don't put, all this is margin. I don't put, well, I'm going to assign this task to this day and that task to this day, because I found that life doesn't work that way for me. A lot of times you get interrupted and you have to rearrange things. And when I see that there, it just gets stressful having to go back and rearrange all that stuff. Generally, appointments stay the same, so I'll just go ahead and list them so I can get an overview of my week. And then down here, I'll list what I'd like to work on. And if I get them done, fine. If I don't, fine. I can migrate it to the next week or whatever. But so, excuse me, that's what I've been working on is on my Passion Planner. But I've been in the back, there's some graph pages here that I've been utilizing to try this bullet journal process out, okay? And so I've been logging that, and finding that I really enjoy it because it's more creative. It's not a set template. It's not a, here's what you have to adhere to every week. Not that these aren't good templates, that the Passion Planner is a good planner. I really enjoy it. But I find that it is nice to be able to customize what might be happening, because from week to week, things seem to change. I might want to focus on something else, and I might need a certain way to lay that out to where it works for me and I can visualize it better, rather than, just a bunch of time slots on a page. But I've been working with some bullet journal ideas, and this is called a Chronodex, if you're interested, a way to keep up and log your time. And that's a pretty interesting little tool. Read all about that online. But I've been experimenting with that. And a bullet journal is basically, let me go ahead and screen share some more and give you an idea on this. Okay, so I think I'm screen sharing now. Let me see. Oh, no. Let me go back over here. All right, now I'm screen sharing. Okay, there we go. All right, I have already entered this. I don't think I have to enter every day. He's giving up the bullet journal, and I'm hoping to win one of these. It'd be awesome. That way, they're only like $20, but if I'm already one that I paid for, So I've already entered. Okay, so if you go to bulletjournal.com, let's just go to the main page here. This is actually a process that the inventor of the bullet journal, Ryder Carroll, came up with after years of struggling with how to plan his day. And so it explains on this page. You can watch the video. It explains everything about the bullet journal. Okay, and I'm not going to sit here and click the video on all this. You can shop for the notebook. Like I said, they're $20 a piece, and they're made by a company called. Oh man, it starts with an L. Let me see if I can find that real quick. Leishburn or something like that. I can't remember what the name of it is. It might show up here. No, I don't see it. Let me find it over here on this page. Let's look at some, I don't think it'll say brands or anything. Almost gone. It's another one. And I'm sure that it would pull up. Oh, well, I can't think of it, but it starts with an L, and it's a very popular notebook right now, and especially for bullet journaling. How about journal brands? Oh. I can't believe it. It's not showing it. Not even have a doesn't even have a category for the brand. But anyway, it starts with an L. I forget what it's called. But that's the notebook. It's only $20, 249 pages. You got a pocket to back. You got three bookmarks here, bunch of stuff on there. And so you got a blog here. The backstory is the recent post. This is the one where you can, enter to win if you want to. Here, actually, I don't know why anything. It'll actually say what the name of it is on here because he tells the story about it. How he teamed up with the company. So I could have went there and found it out. Let's see. Sorry, I'm taking so long, guys. I know Lichtterm. This is Lichtterm, whatever it's called. That's what it's called. That's the name of the actual thing. So if I go over here back to where I was and type in this, Lichtterm. Okay, so there's a bunch of different ones. For some reason, Moleskine comes up first, but I know they've got several Lichtterm notebooks, however you pronounce it. I think it's a German product. So you can definitely check that out. But anyway, the bullet journal is just a way of keeping up with your daily life and by what's called rapid logging. So you're not sitting there putting a lot of time and dedication into this. It's just got a very, very interesting way. And that's one of the things I've been experimenting with as far as the updates on the writing front is bullet journaling. And I may actually go with that. Now, the good thing about bullet journal is you don't have to have the notebook. You can do this with any current journal you're using right now. Basically, it's setting up an index, setting up your calendar monthly and for the next 6 months, and then your daily log. And then if you have any random, ideas or whatever, you jot them down in what's called collections. And then you take and you can index those, and you have all these little symbols that mean different things so that you can stay easily organized. I definitely recommend you check it out. You can watch the video, and it's really, really good. A lot of people are clamoring about it. But that's the other thing, the other tool that I found that is very, very helpful and very handy for me. And so let me see real quick what exactly is next up on my updates here. So I need to check that out. I think I know what it is. We've went over, I'll just consider that the end of the writing tips there. So we've got writing as far as, okay, the next thing to lead into then from there is naturally books. So let me go ahead and share with you some books that I've got going on, because I'd like to go ahead and end this. I didn't mean this to be this long of a video, but I'll go over some quick things real quick for you, and we'll screen share again, and that will show you what I've been working on. Let's do one more writing update. Okay, we'll just do that. As far as that goes. Okay. Wattpad. As far as Wattpad, it looks like I've gained a few followers, so that's good. I actually had a lot of people checking out my blind date thing. I've actually had over 1,000. I didn't even know this. Over 1,000 views on my blind date story, which is awesome. And that mainly came from posting these stories in the various clubs here. So I found that that's been working pretty good, especially in romance, which is what this is considered. I haven't had a whole lot of hits on the rest of these, but I've got several, stories here on blind date on Wattpad now. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the latest 7. So if you're interested in checking out some of my writing samples and what I'm interested in, I actually have a complete novel, Nanowrimo novel that I did last year, 2015, called Kitty Hero Chronicles. It's right here, available for free. I haven't been able to edit it. I'm a fairly, smooth writer, so you're not going to find a lot of grammar and punctuations and things like that, but you're actually be able to see the basic storyline all the way through by reading that. And then these are just some other short stories that I've done, and I especially like this one, How to Win at Nanowrimo. I'm surprised it doesn't have, more readers, but this is some general writing advice that I've learned along the way towards winning 2 NaNoWrimos, abandoning one novel that came out of that and resurrecting that. And then the latest thing is Confessions of a Self-Professed Writing Failure. And that's just writing down things, I should be writing, but instead I've been doing this, or, all these other things, feeling like a failure, all these writing about, kind of like blog posts on that. So, I've had 150 views on that. A lot of people voted, 14 voted, plenty of comments. So a lot of good stuff in that. In these covers, I designed all of these except for the blind date, proof, and then Down at the Old Folks Club. I actually hired some people on Fiverr to do those, and they did a magnificent job on that. But all these other covers are done through Canva. I actually use Canva to do those. And usually Pixabay is where I get my images at. It's a really good place to find images. If you go to search.creativecommons.org, that's what I usually use for finding images. And that is a really good place it's kind of like a hub for finding some of the best images out there. Once again, that's search.creativecommons.org. If you want to find free, licensed or unlicensed or available for free use, these two you need to click. Be able to modify, adapt, or build upon them and use them for commercial purposes. And I just usually go to Google Images because it connects to Flickr, it connects to Pixabay, and then type in what you're looking for, and it'll pull up a whole wide range of things so that you can find those and get to work on those. And just for example, if I wanted to, I recently did a blog post that I'm going to be releasing soon, and it used fire images in there. So here's all these fire images that are free to modify or reuse. And let's say I like this one. Okay, so here's some more images I could use. They're related, but these extra images aren't necessarily royalty free. So what you would do then is say, okay, I like this image. I'm going to view more. It's going to take you to another page. And look at this. The usage rights are redone. So you need to go back to labeled for use with modification. Okay. Okay, so they didn't match anything in this section, so let's go back. Let's do that again. Let's try this. View more that look like this. Okay, didn't find anything there. Most of the time, I've never had that happen actually. So you'll notice up here, Google that search for Creative Commons, whatever, takes you right to a pre-programmed label for use with modification. So let's try a different image. Let's try that one. Say I like this image. I'm going to view more that are like it. Yeah, this is wildfire images. Okay, so now let's go back to the ones that I can actually reuse. And then here's all the ones that are labeled for reuse with modification. So that's a little handy trick I use. And these, you know, as you can see, that's one for Pexels. There's one from Pixabay. So it kind of comes from all these different places. Pixabay, Pexels, Flickr, a lot of this stuff it comes with that you can use. So, all right, so that's what I've been doing on Wattpad. Now let's do some books on updates, or updates on books, okay? So I'm going to go to my Goodreads page. I'm going to go to my books that I've been reading lately. And here's the ones that I'm currently reading. Now, there's one book that I really enjoyed, and I'm going to go to all here, then I can find it a lot better. I think I've actually done a book review on this already, and it's called Behind the Stories. Another good book I recommend for writing. Highly recommend it. Okay, this is the book called Behind the Stories, and I actually already did my review on this, so my review is here. I put that on my top rated all-time favorite books. Now, there's maybe 20 of these out of all the 200 or 100 something books that I've done, so I don't take this lightly. It's just to be a very good book to get on my top 5 list, or top 5-star list. So very good book about Christian authors who have been interviewed, and about their writing experiences, how they came to write. And some of these were just, I mean, every single story here hit me, and I could relate to every single one. Something in my life would tell me, you know, especially the one by, I think it's Beverly Lewis, where she talks about how she was a music teacher, how she loved to write. If I like to teach music, I like to play music, I like to write, but you feel stretched, and you feel like, you know, you're being stretched too thin with all these other different things. Well, she actually found that she could do all these things and still, you know, enjoy her life and lead a fulfilled life being a writer. And so that was really helpful to me. So that's one of the really good books that I've had, and that will be coming out pretty soon. I've got it actually already done. You can see it right here. It's in draft mode because I'm planning on releasing this one next, Unleashing the Fire Within, talking about passions, talking about, for me, writing and guitar, and just allowing your passions to rise to the top, not bottling them up, your God-given passions, and you just have to read the blog post. That's all I can tell you. Just stay updated with ericbeatty.com, and that'll be out fairly soon. It's already written. I've just got to make a few edits, and then I'll release it publicly. Okay, so back to my Goodreads. Let's go back to my books here. I'll just show you just some of the books I've been reading and finding enjoyable. So all of these are almost 200 books. Only on the top reading books of all times, I only have 22 of those. Okay, so let's just go ahead to currently reading. I've got 9 books in play. I'm always jumping between them. Let's see, Mastering Creative Anxiety. It's a psychotherapist, and talking about this. This is a pretty interesting book. I haven't really found it, you know, completely, you know, mind blowing or anything like that, but it's pretty interesting to see why we're so afraid and vulnerable to share with others our creative self. That of Art and Do the Work by Stephen Pressfield. He gets really, you know, hard on people, saying that we need to just do it. And there's this thing called resistance that everyone has, and that is the natural tendency to avoid what we want to do creatively. And basically, he's like a drill sergeant saying how to overcome that. Okay, so Eli Monpress by Rachel Aaron, The Legend of Eli Monpress. This is 3 books in one. Haven't been reading that. I've been wanting to read a lot more nonfiction stuff lately, but I'm wanting to get back into fiction, and I really need to pick this book back up. The very first chapter of the very first book of this, you know, the section of this book really had me from the get-go, and I picked it up on Amazon and read it really quick, and now I want to go back and read, you know, some more of it. 7 Minutes a Day to Your Bestseller. Not very enthralled with that one, to tell you the truth. Probably because I'm kind of biased in the sense that I've already been exposed to a lot of this information, and I already know it. So it's probably why I didn't really care for that one. I love Write, Publish, Repeat by Sean Platt, Johnny B. Truitt, and David Wright. Amazing, insights to the publishing industry by some guys that have written over 1 million words and are very, very popular in the self-publishing / indie industry. So definitely highly recommend that book. Really, really good advice there. Wonderbook, it's another book on writing and creativity. I kind of put this one aside for now because it's very, I don't know, the language is very kind of flamboyant a little bit. It's a little bit too professory for me, but it's very wonderful to look at. I've got some good things, some good pictures and some good advice. It's just that it's, you know, it takes a little bit to digest mentally. I've kind of not done anything with the Prince of Narnia, the Prince Caspian. I've had this little phase last year where I wanted to read all the Narnia books because everybody talked about them, but I haven't, you know, really been that involved in them because they are more children's-based books, and I don't know. I just always find something more interesting. So this is still on my reading list, even though I haven't looked at it in, you know, it's probably since the first of the year. Here's a new one that I'm trying out, Time Hack, about time management, control your time. This is kind of, I don't know, for me, this is kind of veering off a little bit from the time management system because he talks about goal setting, and he kind of gets on a tangent when it comes to that. So I'm kind of up in the air about what I think about that one. Power Focus, one of my all-time favorite books. It's definitely in my top listed books here. This book I go back to over and over and over again. I just can't sing its praises enough. You definitely have to have this book if you're, you know, struggling with time management, struggling with, you know, knowing what to do. I just can't, you know, say enough about it. And I actually did another blog post on this. If you go to ericbeatty.com/power-of-focus, this will pull right up. And then my latest one that I'm pretty excited about is View from the Cheap Seats, selected nonfiction by Neil Gaiman. I saw this and I was like, he is a very popular author. He'll probably have a lot to say about writing, and I'm going to buy this book. First hardcover book I bought in years, to tell you the truth. I really was interested in what he had to say. He's really insightful. He had a really good YouTube video of a commencement speech he gave. I think it was a commencement speech. Talk about, I think it was called Make Good Art. And the actual transcript for that is in this book. And he talks about his influences like Ray Bradbury and some of the other people in science fiction and fantasy, as well as his ideas and thoughts on writing. It also has some introductions there for different books that he's written introductions for. It's got the complete, you know, introduction in the book, the different ones. And so not exactly sure where I'm at on this book just now, but I've still got, I think I'm only like 25% of the way through, so I've still got a lot to read, and that's very enjoyable to think about, that I've got all this other writing advice and you know, kind of the writer's life type stuff in this book. So as far as books go, that's what I've been reading. I've got some more, you know, on my shelf to read, but I'd like to get through some of these before I get to those. And let's see here. Books, guitar. The only other thing I can say as far as updates is that I have been really enjoying a series. You go to ericbeatty.com/truefire. This is the company that actually has the series. And you can look at, do a search for, if it'll pull up. Okay, if you do a search for Steve Vai. This is their latest course by Steve Vai. It's called Alien Guitar Secrets, Passion, and Warfare. Amazing instruction by Steve Vai, mostly on the side of his attitude towards playing and the mindset towards playing. There are some transcribed things, note for note, but it's mostly about your attitude towards playing, and it really is an eye-opener as far as learning how to play. Very, very good course by Steve Vai. I mean, you can't get much better than that. One by Andy Timmons, so you can type in Andy Timmons and check his out. It's called Electric Expression, and that is amazing. Andy Timmons is just one of the guys that it's hard for him to play a bad note. Especially string bends, he goes over a lot of that stuff. But If you go to, like I said, ericbeatty.com/truefire, it will bring you to this page, and you will earn $30 in TrueFire cash. But best of all, you get a 30-day access, all access of every course they have for 30 days. And that's what I'm using for. I actually bought the Steve I course, but I'm using that all access pass to complete Andy Timmons' course and check it out. Download some of those backing tracks. But if you'll go to this, you'll get $30 in cash. Okay, you also get 25% off your first download, and 25% off your first download. And also, I think when you buy the Steve I course, he has a coupon code as well. You also get a free download, 10 licks you must know. But you get, I basically got the Steve I course for, I don't remember if it was exactly free or like $20-something, and it was totally worth it. I mean, really just sitting there and watch a master guitarist like Steve I share with you his insights over 25 years, because this is basically dedicated to the Passion and Warfare album, which is in its 25-year anniversary. And so he goes over every single song in that, some ideas of what he was thinking when he played the songs, a few, you know, picking things that he uses, or not picking things, but a few of the transcriptions of some of those songs from Passion and Warfare. They actually have a, they don't have a note-for-note transcription of every song. He's already done something with Hal Leonard on that. And if you go back to ericbeatty.com/shop, you can type in Hal Leonard, Passion and Warfare, and that's where you'll find the book to note-for-note transcriptions. But he goes over kind of in the actual course for TrueFire. He goes over his ideas for this, and they have some live performances too of Max playing these songs, and his mindset, what he was thinking, the recording process of some of this stuff, and some of the ideas of what he was thinking phrase by phrase. So it's a really good course to take. So I also recommend the Andy Timmons one. It's really amazing. So that's pretty much it as far as the updates go for me. I'm sure this has been an hour-long video or something like that. I really wanted to cut it down to 30 minutes, but that's just what happens. I always forget to mention this at the beginning. I wish I wouldn't, but if you wanted to watch this later on, you can go and speed this video up if you're watching this on a computer. Now, I've noticed that Xbox Live, game console apps, and mobile apps do not allow you to do this for some reason, but you have to be on a computer watching this in your browser. Now, you could probably do that if you watch it in your browser, but if you watch it on the actual app, it will not allow you to speed it up. You'd have to be watching it in some kind of browser. And I use Google Chrome. You can go to the video, the top right corner. There's this little wheel, gear, cog icon. That's the settings tab. That's the settings icon. You tell it to speed it up to twice the speed, and you'll get through this video in half the time. So, and just I wish I mentioned that at the first. Some of you already know that. I advocate that time and time again. If you don't like to listen to me talk, speed through it and you get to the good stuff or whatever. But definitely, you'll have that for the next video down the road. But thanks so much, guys, for watching. That's been my Hangout video. That's been my update video for this week. And that's pretty much it. Be looking for those videos that I mentioned. Those will be coming out probably starting next week on getting some of those released. And just still playing guitar, still loving guitar. I've been playing with my Strat a lot more recently, as you can see from the last video on building a song with 2 chords. I like that Strat sound. I like the maple fretboard sound, and it seems like that's a sound that I like that really works for me. I still have my Ibanez. I just haven't taken it out of the case in a month or so because I've really been enjoying playing with Strat. I'll get back to it eventually. So thanks so much for watching, guys. Please check out all my different websites, the blog, ericbeatty.com. You can also check out secretsofTexasBluesGuitar.com, and you can check out bluegrassguitaressentials.com for all the courses and things that I have available. A lot of people have been asking me about private lessons, and I just don't have time to do that anymore. I actually have private lessons in person, And that's why I have YouTube. That's why I have my videos here on YouTube. I've got over 600 videos on mostly guitar, especially acoustic guitar, bluegrass style. You can definitely check out the playlists on my YouTube channel for beginner, intermediate, and advanced bluegrass guitar. And the courses that I create, bluegrassguitaressentials.com and secretsoftexasbluesguitar.com. That is for you people out there who live in Germany or live in Australia or all these other countries that watch me on YouTube, that I don't have time to sit down one-on-one with. And so that allows me to have more time to do other things like writing and things that I'm working on toward building other aspects of my business, and still be available to you in some aspect to help you learn guitar. So definitely check those other websites out, and don't forget to stay subscribed to the YouTube channel, share with your friends, and definitely check out the blog here that I've got going on. All right, we'll see you guys later. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next video, whatever that may be. Enjoy all your dreams, all your creative endeavors. Keep working at it, and before long you'll see the fruits of your labor. We'll talk to you later. God bless.